Well, this is going to be a tough one. Oh, the wires. Hello everyone, welcome to Random Spoko. I'm the Russian guy, and today we say goodbye to the Marui's carriage. It was a short one, less than a year, a weird year, but being quarantined for 3 months, almost 4, counting the fact that I was also studying for the finals, 1 additional month after the quarantine in Spain was lifted. I had enough time to think about whether was it a good idea to get this gun, whether I needed it or not. And yeah, as you can imagine, the result was, well, you didn't really need it. And also, when I bought it, I didn't know that Marui was going to release the AKM GBB. And this year, most of my friends from other channels, other people I know, got the GBB RMWS AR-15s from Marui, and they are enjoying them a lot. It's been like a GBBR boom, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, do I really need this one? Because when playing with AEG, I'm just happy with an AK, with my AK. That's been with me for a lot of years now. The playstyle I have with it is 0.2 gram BBs, running a lot, and I enjoy it. I also have the VSS set up as a designated marksman rifle, so when I want to get that distance, when I want to get those powerful shots, I can use that one. And the Scar was something in between. I can still play old games like an assault rifle, but the playstyle is more second line, using 0.28 gram BBs from G&G, and going slower, aiming for that shot, getting those real nice shots, and it definitely does that. But my playstyle was not, it's not a playstyle that I like that much that I have a specific rifle for it. And I can always switch to even more distance, even more calculated shots with a DMR if I really want it. So the setup I was using as of sights, the sight setup are really important for me because I'm trying to get that one hit kill, one BB kill, one BB hit, whatever you call it. And the combination of the shot dot from Vision King with just any AliExpress mount. This one has the QDs and the rails on top. With the Chinese RMR, this one is one of those that turns on and off automatically depending of whether there is light or not. You just put the cap on and it won't, it will turn off itself. I was of course going, I'm trying 2 other RMRs now which are going spectacularly well. One of them on the MP9 and the other one on the Glock, which is what you saw in the last video. These do have buttons for turning on and off and adjusting the power of the red dot. They work on GBBs, so that's good enough for you, and they're 20 something euros on on AliExpress, so affordable for everyone, whether it's for a pistol, SMG, assault rifle, or as a backup for another scope, such as in this case, works perfectly. Easy to adjust, about less than 5 minutes actually, even if you're going for a greater distance than 15 meters or so. I think I got this one adjusted for 25-30 meters, just as the Vision King. Maybe I have this one for 10 or 15 and this other one for 30, but it's almost the same. I of course got more hits aiming with the RMR than with the Vision King, because when you're aiming with the Vision King, it takes a lot more time, but you can really see where that BB is going. So if you want to correct the shot, if you have some wind, this happens when you have more distance, you can really do that. And the 0.28 gram BBs fly very good through vegetation, so that combination is really good setup, and it's not expensive. I mean, you get 60 or 70 euros for the short dot, 20 or something, 25, let's say 25 for the RMR, and 10 for the mount, and the performance you get from it is really good. bang for buck, definitely. So highly recommended. I have to do a whole video on the Vision King, on how I tried it on different replicas. But last time I played, and it was the first game after quarantine, after around, I haven't played since February, so that was in August. Around the old reliable EOTech XPS 3 from Hurricane. These are the best EOTech copies out there, but I think they are not being made anymore. So that's really a shame. I really like the EOTechs, how they look, how the reticle, everything. I like everything about the EOTechs. The 552 and the XPS 3 are my favorites. 552 because it uses standard AA batteries, so they're cheaper than the others. And this thing, you will be changing the batteries a lot. This one uses the CR123s, but it's smaller, more modern. Does not come with the QD mount, which is, you know, for some is important, for others not that much. Since I had it on the AK, on the B13 rail, I have the QD on that, so that's no trouble. It just stays there. And whenever I want to change the side or take out the sides completely, I'll just take the whole rail off and run irons or another scope or another red dot on another mount. So that works for me. The sight goes far back as I could on the gun, since I'm not using night vision or anything. I also don't have any AR illuminator, just the grip as usual, and the A1 copy, the copy of the A1 mount from Zenith made by Core Airsoft, I believe. Yeah, just standard rail mount for the sling. Sling I'm using is the copy of the Viking Tactics sling, the padded sling, the VTAC sling from TMC, a multicam, and it's good, but I really like the unpadded version more, which I have on the 416. This one is not a copy, this one's the original one, and it's great. I mean, these 2-point slings with adjustable length are the best that you can use these days, most popular, and what any tactical operator will recommend you to use, whether it's for real life or airsoft. The one from TMC, it's okay. I mean, you can already see that it's suffering. I mean, even though it's supposed to be made from the proper materials, but yeah, it's not as good as the real thing. Of course, it's not as good as the real thing. Just look at the price difference. It's not magic. Why did I also said, well, you know what, I don't need this gun? Ergonomics. There's 2 points, even 3. There's 3 issues with ergonomics of this gun that I can try to fix, but it's not going to work out, really. So first one is the sling attachment points. The gun, of course, has a sling attachment point right on the back on the stock, which is the favorite for me when it's AR-10 or AR-15 platforms. It's what I have done with this one, right? I have it on what I call the 6th position. So you have you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? Maybe 3 is much closer to the receiver than the other one. This one is running in the middle, but much closer to the other one. Maybe it's a 3. Let's say 4 will be around here, right where the grip is, and 3 is here. So I like to run something like 6-3, 6-4, 5-3, 5-4, or maybe 5-4, even 5-5. Sorry, 5-3, 5-2. If you've seen the video about sling mounting positions, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, go ahead and see that. I made the positions up. I mean, that's just my designation of the positions of the sling mounts, but just so we can speak the same language, I recommend you seeing it. So the reason why I don't have the sling mount mounted on 6, but instead I have it on 5, it's not because of personal preference, but because the stock will eventually get wobbly. And in fact, it has a little teeny bit of wobble since the first time I used it, just one game, just the first game, I mounted it right there, and I already started feeling that tiny bit of wobble. So yeah, not a great thing. However, I did try to get the position 3 here, so the sling can be so the gun can be closer to my body, and I can really get it there, not having the extra length of the sling because the front sling is further up, but closer to the body. Closer to the body. I mean, a bit messy. I'd really like to run the sling here and here. The other issue is the thick, and this is a really thick stock. What will happen is, if you just aiming it, if you're just using it in your house, maybe using just a ball cap, bunny hat, something like this, it's not going to be an issue at all. But if you go put on a helmet with ear pro, or in fact just ball cap with ear pro, which is what I use for comms, and just even if I'm not running comms for whatever reason, I won't take the ear pro off the helmet. I really like the looks of it. I mean, the helmet with the cover on the ear pro looks really nice. So if I do that, if I get that helmet with the ear pro on, and then I aim with it, I'm getting down there, it does sometimes interfere. Now, not in a standard position. In standard position, you just go there and you will get the cheek weld. But if you're going through some difficult position, you're shooting from cover, this and that, you're really gonna get that ear pro in the way. And since the stock is that thick, especially if you can find and you have to go with your head closer to the side, it starts getting in the middle. So that was an issue. You can change the stock. Many people buys the adapter for the ACR stock. There's also a buffer tube adapter, so you can just fit any type of AR-15 stock. But it's kind of turning this car, which is a different type of AR-15, AR-10, into more of a standard AR-15, AR-10. So it's kind of going against what you were initially supposed to do, since you're not getting this because of the performance, since it performs just as good or as bad, depending on when you stand, as any other recoil shotgun from Tokyo Marui, like the 416s they have. So that was issue number 2. Issue number 3 comes to the pistol grip, the angle of the A2 pistol grip. I really like to get into that close stock shooting stance, and the angle of it is just not as comfortable as it should. AK's has a much perpendicular angle to the whole barrel itself, so when you're gripping that, it's not that, you're either getting way too high, way too low, not that comfortable. If I was shooting in a more classic position, right, chicken winging and all that, it will be very comfortable, or maybe a longer stock. But shooting like this, all tied up, as you can see, I got 2 fingers in there, this gets in the middle. Maybe milling this part will help, but it was just so many issues. The issue with the selector still persists. Sometimes shooting semi, the gun will start shooting. So what you have to do is full auto, shoot a little bit, just up in the air, go back to semi. It happened before, it happens a lot, but that soon, gun has only 3 games and just a couple shots here at home. But overall, no more wobble in the construction, pretty well and all that. And of course, the performance it has just from the box, even if you're running 0.3, I believe, you're still not going too powerful. 0.28 is great. Of course, I won't shoot this from less than 15 meters because it still hurts. It's still a heavy BB. Not a big fan of that. That's why I use 0.2. 0.25 gives you better performance. 0.2 is not because the BBs travel faster, which will a little bit, but also just for safety reasons. I don't want to hurt anyone, right? The guy you're playing against, he woke up this morning, it's his free day, drove to the field, trying to have as much fun as he can. If you shoot him somewhere where it hurts and using a heavier BB, it's going to hurt more. So it's not going to be great for him, and he does not deserve to be shot where it hurts or in a way that it hurts. So if you can mitigate that by using a lighter BB, that would be great. Shooting with this, there's one big difference between shooting with this and with the AK, and I wanted to run the EOTech just to see if it was because of the sight setup or because of the gun, and it was definitely because of the gun. What happens is I have the dot perfectly set for where I want to shoot, right? That's what you should do. Still, most players don't really adjust the red dots. I think it's a shame not. I mean, it does not take that much time, but you can really get some shots that you wouldn't if you didn't have it. And also for safety reasons, if you know that dot is gonna hit just where you adjusted it, or really, really, really close, you can know from the first BB you shoot when you're aiming if it's gonna hurt or not. So you can go for that plate. Now, I did that, and I tried to do that thing when someone's shooting from cover, you're behind cover, you pick, you see where he is, you put the sights on him, you pick again, just put the sight on him, shoot, you pick again, and he's coming out with his hand up, just because where you put that dot, the BB will go. It happens with this gun. Of course, you can get that from a standard AEG, but you'll have to spend some money on it. You have to either open it yourself, lose warranty, or take it to a mechanic, pay extra, lose the warranty from the manufacturer, and only have the warranty on the upgrades if it's a proper mechanic or shop or whatever, reputable and official and all that. So that's the thing to keep in mind. I mean, you can get really accurate shots with basically any Tokyo Marui gun out of the box without doing anything to it. And it's very important warranty wise, if you're not a mechanic, if you're new to the game, maybe, well, of course, if you're new to the game, you may be thinking, well, that's a lot of money. I'm not spending that much money. I don't even know if I like it, but maybe your second gun or maybe your third gun, if you sell the first and then get into it, it's a reliable gun overall, and you can get that out of the box. Just go ahead and play. I was not planning on getting any upgrades to it, just because the power limits are very close to what it does from the box, which is 310, 329, depending on what I think on the weather, basically. 300 FPS out of the box. Limit is 350, and 350 is a limit, not a standard. So you have to keep that in mind. It's a limit, it's a maximum. You don't have to hit maximum. You can play with 300, with 280, 310, 320. AK is running 310, I think, and it's I don't see any downside to it. I mean, if you can't hit the target because it's too far away, just run towards it. Ask for some cover and go. You're not a sniper, you're not a designated marksman. It's not what you have to do. What you have to do is run to your target, eliminate your target, if it is really your target. If it's not, well, then what's the point? So that's another thing about it. Great stuff. Of course, with the EOTech setup, it's much lighter, less bulky, easier to use, but still I run into the issues of the thicker stock when using it with the helmet, because, well, if you're using the short dot, what will happen is well, actually no, it's about the same height. It's about the same height with the EOTech and with the short dot. It seems that the short dot is a bit lower. You really have to get really down on it. But yeah, you can see it. I can see the reticle. In fact, I can turn it on, but however, I can still see the reticle perfectly if I'm a little bit higher. I can still see it, I can still aim with it, but looking at it now, I can still see the short dot reticle as well. So yeah, you can make it, you can make that, you can make those shots, but somehow aiming through the short dot with the helmet seemed much harder than aiming through the EOTech with the helmet. And of course, since the RMR sits much higher, there's no issue with it whatsoever. In fact, with the RMR sitting so high, it's not, where's the dot? There it is. It's not that hard to see around you because you don't have the rifle in the middle, you just have the shot dot in the middle. So you really get that great field of view around you, and specifically with this side. So if you're cleaning on the outside and you're going like this, you can see that you can see around you. I mean, one of the best setups I've seen, and I know that some guys prefer to have the shot dots on a 45 degree, just so it sits closer to the barrel, but I really think that's more of a thing for a real world, where you have greater distances, proper accuracy, and also no hop up. Because whenever you're turning that gun, the hop up, the spin is gonna go the other way around. So think about that. Also, it's much easier to zero that red dot and just having to adjust vertically than also having to adjust the windage. Because when you're running 45 and you want to get the dot just a bit lower, you have to tweak both of them. So it takes more time to adjust it. I don't like the 45. It does look real cool, of course, but in a practicality, from a practical standpoint, was that right? I'd rather have it on top. Also, when you're going down on the side again, you can have the shot dot, then you'll say, well, yeah, you can aim with the RMR, then you say, well, that's 40 or 50 meters. Let's get down on the shot dot. Oh, there it is. Boom, it's gone. I'm back here again. One of the best combos I've tried. EOTech is just, wonderful. If you want to try out a bigger, I'd also just run the RMR on itself. I think it's the best thing you can get. If you're looking for an open side, just get a Chinese RMR. If you want to get a closed or a bigger red dot, this is also Chinese 20 euro M2 aim point or M68 aim point from AliExpress. The mount is different. It's an element copy of a Wilcox mount. It comes with, I changed it just for reenactment purposes. No real reason on practicality. Well, maybe it does sit a bit higher than the one that comes with it, but still you can see, if you're running an AR, you can still see the iron sights through it. In fact, you can't see the iron sights through the Wilcox, but you will be able to do that with the one that comes with it, and it's about 20-25 euros. So get with either that or the RMR. Stay away from the Chinese EOTechs because they just rubbish. Just stay away from them. They're absolute rubbish. Maybe the one from GMP, and it's quite more expensive. It's a bit better, but still, if you're running at 90 euros or 100 euros for the GMP one, just throw in 100 more. I know it's twice the price, but get something from Holosun. They are for real firearms and they are sturdy as fuck. So if you really want to spend more than 30 euros on a red dot, just go the whole way, do the whole jump and get the Holosun, or maybe even something better. But if you're running copies, just stay with the Chinese ones and not the EOTech ones, unless you can find something from Hurricane. However, this one from Hurricane cost me 167 euros, I think. So yeah, you're in the same game again. Just you can get replica, or you can get something real. The Holosun is not exactly the Aimpoint T1, but it's a great sight. I had it, sold it. Now I'm thinking about getting another one, but right now I don't need it since I have the RMRs. Right now the RMRs are being tested in 7 replicas at the same time. They're working fine. I do recommend them. For the price that they cost, I'd say, yeah, you can buy them, and if it breaks, well, you either buy something else or you buy just another one and run it until it breaks. But right now they're not breaking, working perfectly, not losing zero, unless you hit it really hard, it will lose zero, of course. So yeah, I want to get into another project. In fact, the main project I'm getting into right now is making the 416 from VFC I got back in summer of 2018 back and running properly. I got it secondhand. It cost me 250 euros, which is pretty much a bargain. Tried it once. It sucks. It really sucks. I don't know if it's old. I don't know if the internals have been tweaked. I just spoke with my usual AG mechanic just a couple hours ago. Said, you still doing the stuff? He said, yeah. Well, can I take you the 416? Yeah, sure. But you know, the internals usually suck, so we may be changing a lot. Fire rate in this thing is awful, and the range in this thing is awful as well. So I'm going to change both of those. I want to get proper rate of fire and proper accuracy with 0.2, 0.25. Still thinking that this is a 10.5 inch barrel, so not that it's going to be as this one, but maybe we can get closer to something similar. I just want to be able to run and gun and be able to put the sight on something, press that trigger, and see that something raising up his or her hand. And also, this gun is intended for my secret reenactment kit, which I've been trying to build since January of 2018 and barely have at 70%. One of the main reasons why I'm not progressing with that kit is because the main gun that goes with it, I don't feel comfortable playing with it. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna get this thing a proper upgrade. That's gonna make me want to play with it. I'm gonna play with it, and I'm gonna use the kit as it looks now, and that's gonna give me the motivation to finish that kit and make videos about it and everything. I was thinking about something more aggressive as of upgrades, but I just had everything in the shopping cart and it was around 700 euros, and I thought, well, you know what, no, that's gonna wait. Because also, if we have in Tokyo Marui releasing the AKM, the GBB version, which will be basically the MWS M4 they have with the Z system, made as an AK, maybe even in 1-to-1 size, so I can put real stuff on it, like the real furniture and all that, that's something really interesting. Because all my friends are just getting the MWS, saying, well, I'm selling all my AEGs, I'm sticking with gas. So that's something I want to try out, but I really want it to be an AK. Not that much interested in an AR since, well, I already have one. I mean, if I have to choose between AR and AK, of course I'm going with AK, whether it's just plain as it is or maybe tacticalized a little bit, just a couple swings of the hammer and I have one or another. I don't know how good the quality of the image is right now, but mine is getting rusty, so I have to clean it after the video. And that's basically it. Highly recommended. I sold it after 3 games, but it was not because it disappointed me in any way, it just was not the gun for me. Also, now that we're talking about the Scar H, if you really dig the Scar H, you can take a look at the t-shirts I had designed. I made myself a account in Teespring, you know, that site where you can order merchandise, and it's basically drop shipping. I mean, I upload the designs, there's a minimum price that I have to set. I have it set to almost a minimum. I get like €1 or 2 from each product bought, but I don't have to risk and order t-shirts made in sizes and hope and expect that they sell. So I have a couple of designs there. One of them is the Scar H with the short dot configuration, and it just says thick rifle, which is, you know, the rifles. So check it out. I'll leave the link for the whole shop in the description. Maybe you like something. And yeah, I already sold it. In fact, just put it up on Instagram. A friend of mine, a subscriber. I like to call him a friend. I never met him in person, of course, but we talk a lot. When I Twitch stream, he usually joins. We play some GTA. The other day, we were making a reaction video to a gas gun from KWA. He was there. We're talking, and he hit me up on Instagram. Said, "How much for the gun?" I said, "Around 550." Said, "Well, throw me in the extras and I'll take it for whatever you ask," and that's it. So I'm just making the video because I have to pack it and send it, because he already paid for it. I mean, just to close the chapter. And that's it. You like 7.62 rifles, you like OGG boots, and you like good performance out of the box without an insane power output, go for it. You want to have the best thing Tokyo Marui has to offer? Get the MWS, but get ready to spend money, not because it breaks, just because you will want to do lots of great things to it. If you want a cheaper AR-15 something, stick with Specna Arms. I think they're the same entry-level manufacturer right now, and that's it. That's basically it. In fact, I'm thinking that when I get this gun running, if I ever get disappointed, I might sell this one as well and just get the one from Tokyo Marui, the recoil shock version, because that will be having the performance of this one with the looks of this one for the kit that I was building, and that will be just great. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and hasta luego.